Bristol Motor Speedway is the site. Good evening and welcome to PSR TV. My name is Daryl Morley. Alongside me is Nim Cross, and Nim, tonight the best of the best take on the concrete blender.
That's right. We got 43 of iRacing's best going around the high-banked half mile of Bristol Motor Speedway. It should be a good one.
The banking here, by the way, between 24 and 30 degrees in the corners, 6 to 10 degrees on the straightaway. That's almost darn near flat. 650-foot straightaways, by the way. And the concrete here, just about 40 feet wide. And that may sound wide to those of us that have a 20-foot wide living room, and you say, oh, geez, I can probably fit 2 cars right here in my living room. Yeah, you could, but they're not at full speed. And when these drivers get up to speed and they get on that ragged edge, 40 feet in them, that's not a whole heck of a lot of distance now, is it?
No, it's not a lot of distance. As soon as this race starts, the front of the field is going to meet the back of the field, and you're going to be in traffic all the time. There's no escaping it here. It's traffic all day long, whether you're the leader or whether you're running in last place. And it's one of those situations where if something happens in front of you, you've got no time to react. And we see even in practice right now, some guys are having a little bit of trouble. So it's going to be a big one.
This racetrack celebrates its 50th anniversary here in 2011. The oval qualifying record was set by Ryan Newman way back in 2003. Isn't it weird we're saying way back in 2003 at a 14.908. 14.908. And yeah, that would still be pole time here in 2011. 15.847 for Derek Wood.
Yeah, almost a second difference from them, but the competition's really, really close. From qualifying time, like I said, Derek Wood at 15.847. Last place will be starting 43rd tonight, Jordan Hightower, as a 16.152. So, that's only about 0.3 of a second back to Jordan, and then it's, even about half of that back to the 40th place car.
Coming into tonight, the top 10 in points look a little something like this. Ray Alfala is your points leader. Josh Parker sits in second. Thomas Lewandowski is third. Fourth is Thomas Hazard. Fifth belongs to John Gorlinski. Sixth is Derek Wood, our pole sitter tonight. Seventh is Tyler D. Hudson, followed by Brad Davies, Chris Main, and Darren Stevens to round out the top 10. Still early in the season, but right now, plenty of drivers thinking about that big picture and the more than $10,000 on the line.
Yeah, with the new NASCAR points system that we're using, everybody is really taking a look at what's going on and trying to figure out the best strategy to be involved in that championship fight. Right now, it's real tough. 1 point separates Alfala from Parker, like you said, Darryl. And a lot of these guys are trying to figure out this new system to see what they got to do to get in that top 10.
Brad Davies has led the most laps here with 45% of the laps led. Jesse Atchison is second in laps led, and 20-point gap from first to 10th here in the points. It's very, very close, and these drivers know just how important it is to have as good a race as they can possibly have every single week. Some surprising mentions as far as the points go. Our defending champion, Richard Towler, sits a disappointing for him 27th place in points. Now, bear in mind, they do have 2 drops.
Yeah, they have 2 drops and 18 weeks of racing throughout the season. Tonight, Richard Towler is going to be starting from the 14th position, so that's towards the front half of the field there, Darryl, but, he's still got a lot of traffic around him, and he's going to have to really be patient to bring it home in a top 10 finish tonight.
By the way, the driver with the best average finish is Josh Parker. Yet to lead a lap here in 2011. That's kind of surprising for Josh, as he's known as kind of a hard charger, but he has been a more calm, cool, and relaxed driver. He's the only driver, by the way, to finish top 5 both races the previous 2 weeks. He's looking to make it 3 for 3 here tonight. He will start 6th, only 1 spot away from that top 5 coveted finishing spot.
Yep, Josh doing a real good job with consistency this year. And you know, Daryl, he's known to be very fast, but he's not always been the most consistent driver. And maybe we see through last season that he's matured a bit this year, and he's ready to make that leap to that championship fight.
Well, he was a guest last week on Hot Lap Radio, one of two guests on Hot Lap, the other one being Dale Earnhardt Jr. And during that program, we asked him if he has calmed down some, if he's relaxed a little bit. And he said, you know, I think I have relaxed a little bit. I'm looking more towards that big picture. Josh Parker is thinking championship. He's no longer thinking race win. He's taken his vision, his sight from the small, which is the race win, to the large, which is the overall championship. And yeah, maybe that one position that you give up trying to keep your car from wrecking might cost you this race, but it might be a benefit in the overall standings when it comes down to championship time. And realistically, that's how these drivers are measured. Richard Towler is considered the best oval driver in all of racing, not because he's won every single race, but because he is the defending NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Champion.
We have about 1 minute left to go in this practice, the warm-up session, and we'll be hitting the grid.
So just a little bit more time for these drivers to tweak on those sets a little bit more and try to get every inch of speed out of those cars that we have here on the racetrack. And these racers will do everything that they can to find every bit of momentum from these cars. And Bristol, in a lot of ways, is a momentum track, whereas, say, a Martinsville, the other short track that we race at, not so much momentum, more of get fast, get slow, get fast, get slow. Bristol, you don't really get slow because of that banking. We're talking upwards of 30 degrees of banking here in the corners at Bristol.
Yeah, that's right. And you're doing about 4 laps in a minute, just under 4 laps in a minute. So everything happens fast. And there's one slight mix-up. You're going so fast that there's not a whole lot of room to correct just because all the other drivers around you, and because you're going so quick, a lot of guys can just pile in. So it's going to be an exciting race. We definitely plan on probably seeing a lot of caution flags tonight, a lot of bent race cars, and a lot of bent egos, Daryl.
Yeah, and we've already seen a lot of bent race cars here in the practice session as these drivers are now called to their cars. We're going to take the opportunity and let you know who will start where. Starting on the pole, behind the wheel, the number 10 machine, it's Derek Wood. For the second time this season, he will start from the pole. And outside of row number 1, the number 20, the young one, Connor McKenzie.
In row number 2, we have Theo Olsen in the number 8 car, and starting right beside him in position number 4, car number 2, Thomas Hazard.
Our points leader, Ray Alfalo, will take the number 9 inside of row number 3, and that's a number he's been very successful with over the years here within the sim racing community. And outside of him, the number 27 of Josh Parker.
Chris Main lines up in the 7th position. Alongside of him will be Brad Davies, starting 8th.
Jeremy Allen will start in the 9th position, and starting 10th, the number 19 of Thomas Lewandowski.
Rookie driver Brad Wright starts number 15 in the number 11th position, and right beside him is teammate Josh Berry in the number 3 car in the 12th spot.
Brian the Whole Schoenberg will start 13th in the number 7, and starting 14th, the defending champ Richard Towler in the 12.
Row number 8, you'll find Daniel Pope on the inside and Patrick Fogel on the outside in that 16th spot.
Row number 9 down low, we find Greg Spears in the number 34, and outside of him, Jason Burstein.
Row number 10, Richie Davidowitz on the inside, car number 14, and outside of him is Charles Cosper.
Jesse Atchison will start inside of row number 11, and outside row 11, the number 22 Simboot sponsored ride of Joshua Lawton.
Row number 12, Justin Tremblay on the inside and Brian Daly on the outside.
Tyler Hudson starts inside of row number 13 in the number 1 car, and outside of him, Jamison Spieth.
Row 14, car number 39, Matt Sintel on the inside and Steve Sheehan in the 28th spot on the outside.
Rolls up inside of row number 15 and the number 38, and outside of him, the number 35 of Josh Connors.
On the inside of the next row, it's Robert Hall, car number 40. On the outside, Darren Stevens in number 24.
Ben Sexton starts inside the following row, and outside of him, the number 43, Double B, Brian Blackford.
John Prather starts 35th and 36th, Andrew Fash the 3rd.
Remainder of the drivers, Jason Anderson, Stephen Gilbert, Dana Weimer, Dolan Scott, Matthew Moose, John Costa, and Jordan Hightower. We are getting set to go for the first time ever. 43 drivers take the green at Bristol here within iRacing as part of the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship.
Derek Wood gets about a 4 or 5 car length start out here on the first lap. Connor McKenzie with a really good qualifying run slots into that second position. Everybody trying to get single file.
Third spot is Theo Olson, followed by Thomas Hazard. Everybody up at the front of the field, getting down to single file here in the early going, and this is very smart for these drivers. 250 laps, plenty of time to get your passing done.
We are already working lap number 3. 250 laps is the race distance this evening. Right now, Derek Wood, your leader, Connor McKenzie, closing the gap in on him a little bit. It looks like Connor is a little bit racy here early on.
Connor McKenzie has been consistent, but hasn't been super impressive. I've been impressed with the young man's performance, as have a lot of other people, but he hasn't really stood out from the pack as one of those drivers you go, ooh, here comes Connor McKenzie. I think this year he's trying to prove that he can be the driver to stand out from the pack.
Well, Connor has always had some decent runs, but has trouble sometimes getting the finishing position in. Gets himself in trouble, makes a mistake, or gets caught up in somebody else's incident. But we'll look for Connor to have a good run here today and maybe put that finish with the start.
Derek Wood is your race leader. Connor McKenzie sits in second. Theo Olson is third. And Derek Wood, running that Whiskey River paint scheme, has led every lap thus far as they track by the line and they click off lap number 6.
Yep, working lap number 7. Lap traffic is going to be coming up here shortly, as Steve Sheehan has already fallen a lap down. Not sure quite what happened to him, but about a third of a lap ahead is the number 37 car of Gene Costa. Gene Costa right now running in the 42nd position. He's going to have to pick it up, but there's not a whole lot he can do, but the leader's going to be coming up on him soon.
Yeah, not a lot of places for John Costa to go right now in the Go Joey Logano sponsored ride, as Costa finds himself right behind that Tax Slayer ride, that number 30 Tax Slayer ride of Steve Sheehan. Sheehan already a lap down.
Working lap number 10 here, 43 cars around Bristol Motor Speedway. Not nearly a sign of a caution flag or anything like that yet, but I'm sure we just jigged this. But these guys doing a great job. 43 cars on this track, and everybody's still under control.
Josh Berry and Daniel Pope running nose to tail as Berry tries to find his way by Pope. Pope running in the 11th position. Josh Berry, the number 3, running in the 12th spot as Berry tries to get a good look at the inside. And right now, early in the race, I don't think Berry's willing to kind of put a bumper on the main Performance PC sponsored ride. After all, they are team cars.
They are team cars, and Josh Berry, the car number 3 you see there, he is actually one of Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s, one of his development drivers. He runs a late model for Junior Motorsports, and so he's got a lot of short track experience.
Indeed he does, and a lot of these drivers have quite a bit of short track experience, be it physical or in the virtual world. These drivers working as hard as they can here in the early going, and I think right now, as hard as they need to. Not necessarily as hard as they can, Nim, as hard as they need to in the early going. Reason for that, you don't need to push it that hard early in the race. You need to stay on the lead lap. You need to keep your car out of trouble, because for the first time tonight, we have a realistic damage repair model.
Yep, and one of the things with the damage repair model, which is new here at iRacing, is that when these cars do get damaged, they will be able to exact some repairs to the car, as we see Berry putting the pressure on Pope a little bit more here. But they will be able to make pit stops and fix some damage to the cars while they make the pit stops.
Getting a look at Theo Olson, the Alpine Stars sponsored ride. Olson trying to hold off the Obutto sponsored number 2 of Thomas Hazard and trying to track down the pink car of Connor McKenzie, the pink racer. Connor McKenzie just up ahead of Theo Olson. Olson's about to have his hands full with Thomas Hazard. Hazard's not about to back down. He doesn't care if it's lap 18 or lap 218. He's going for it.
Looks like Daniel Pope got turned around. Josh Berry got by him, but then the car behind tried to get by him and turned Daniel Pope around. It looks like Thomas Lewandowski was involved in that. What I think happened right there is that Pope didn't want to give up position. Lewandowski was there, and Pope kind of closed the door going into turn 1, and up into the fence he goes, lap number 18.
Interesting here in this one is that the pass was done on the high side, no less. So Josh Berry passes Pope on the high side, and then along comes the 19 of Lewandowski trying to get it done on the inside. Pope tried to slam the door. Lewandowski had already established position on Pope, and around went Daniel Pope. As we mentioned, this 40 feet wide of pavement or of concrete doesn't feel like 40 feet under racing conditions. Feels more like 10.
You know, one big deal about that, too, is only one car involved. Daniel Pope, the second, involved in that incident. Everybody else gets by clean, so everybody doing a good job here today. Because everybody
Pit
is on pit road.
taking place. We'll see who wins the race from the pits, and it's going to be Derek Wood. Connor McKenzie was in second spot, but Thomas Hazard will come out of the pits with that number 2 position, and it's a lot easier to pass him in the pits than it is on the racetrack, Nim.
Yeah, a lot of the guys will do their very best to have good, clean pit stops and get in pit road, get out, so they can make some position gains on pit road, and it is a lot easier on pit road than it is on the track sometimes.
You got to wonder if any of these drivers are considering, if they're deep in the field, maybe considering a 2-tire change, maybe even going fuel only. I don't know that Bristol's the place to try fuel only, but maybe you can get away with 2 tires depending on the field of the race. If it's a rapid-fire yellow flag situation, then yeah, sure, you can get away with 2 tires here at Bristol. However, if it's not, and it has not been so far here tonight, 4 tires might be the way to go all night long.
Yeah, I'm not real sure what kind of tire wear these guys are getting, but being that they all pitted really early here, you know, we're 20 laps into it, lap 18 we had the incident. Being that everybody opted for tires there, I would assume that they're getting pretty decent wear and that new tires are significant, or we would have saw a lot of these guys try to stay out and gain some track position.
– 21 laps complete, working lap number 22, make it 22 laps complete here at Bristol Motor Speedway as we are under our first caution of the evening. And to be honest, Nim, I expected we'd be under caution flag 3 or 4 by this point.
Yeah, the guys had a really good start of the race, and you know these guys are not only the fastest drivers on iRacing.com, but they're the smartest too. And everybody knew at this point in the race they just needed to get in line and survive this first half. And you know, we had an accident there, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come. But all these guys are pretty smart drivers, so we'll see what happens. And they seem to lose a lot of that smartness towards the end of the race, Darryl. But right now, they're pretty smart.
Wow, the number 8 machine just came up and smacked the wall a couple times. Theo Olsen, and he is sneaking to a stop here on the straightaway. Probably some control problems for the number 8. Not quite sure there.
Yeah, some issues. Yellow flag has been extended for the 8 car on the back straightaway. Must have been something with a steering issue going on there, or some type of mechanical issue that he had inside the car there. But he turned it up in the fence, it looked like, and kept it there. So we'll have to check in and see what happened to him.
Don't know if it was a software lockup or a hardware problem, if his steering actually went out with his wheel. But the 8 machine of Theo Olsen continues to sit very, very still and motionless on the backstretch, and everybody pleading, let's not go green, please. Can we not go green? As now Olsen's car is removed from the racetrack, and unfortunately Olsen done for the night, most likely.
Lap number 25, that's a bit of a strange situation there with Theo. We'll have to check in. Hopefully we'll get get back with him and see what's going on there. But his car has been cleared from the track, and we will be ready to go racing with Tyler Hudson leading them, coming down for the green flag.
And we'll see how important tires are as Tyler Hudson tries to hold Derek Wood and the rest of these drivers with fresh tires off on this restart. We'll see what Hudson can do with these drivers with fresh tires. Green flag flies. Hudson leads them down to turn 1.
You know, on these restarts, being on the outside row is not a good thing. The fast lane is around the bottom, and the cars stuck up on the outside while we're doing these double file restarts are at a bit of a disadvantage. As you see, Connor McKenzie losing all kinds of spots as he's stuck up on the outside line, and now Derek Wood makes a pass for the lead going through corner 1 and 2.
And just as he does, trouble in turn 4, and that's going to negate the pass. The number 32 car involved in turn number 4. That's the 32 of Andrew Fayash III. Tough break for Andrew. And it looked like Andrew was just trying to get his way around the racetrack. The number 26 just barely got into him. That's Jason Anderson, and around went the number 32 of Andrew Fayash III. A little bit of contact is more than enough to send you for a ride here at Bristol.
Looks like everybody electing to stay out on this pit stop, as they haven't gotten really any laps on these tires, so everybody be staying out mostly during this pit stop or yellow flag session.
Tyler Hudson will stay out, and he's got the most laps on his tires of anybody. He did not pit yet when we had the yellow flag situation earlier, so Hudson's still out there on some older tires. Kind of surprised that Tyler's staying out, but I guess right now he figures he's got what he's got, and there's no sense in getting that deep back in the pack right now. We stayed out to get out of the traffic, and he's going to stay out of this traffic as much as he can, but we saw how quick Derek Wood tracked him down and was ready to gobble him up if that yellow flag didn't fly in him.
Yeah, that's right. He was saved a little bit by the yellow flag, and he's going to have to make some moves now, though, to keep in front of from getting lapped as we go green the next time, so it's not too much fun.
Booth to Car Communications, Andrew Fayash. This is Darryl with PSR TV. You got me, bud?
10-4, buddy.
Andrew, I know you worked your tail off to get into this race. What happened over there in turn 4?
Well, that was on the restart there. Jesse blew a gear or got stuck in second or third, it sounded like, when I went by him, and everybody checked up. And I thought Jason was letting me back into the bottom there going into 3, and I just started to come down through the middle, because it looked like he was letting me in, and at that time he was already back in the throttle. So just a little miscommunication on our two parts there. He apologized, but we're all good.
How bad is the damage? Were you able to get it all fixed up with that new damage repair dealer here in iRacing?
They didn't touch it, so I think we're all good. I mean, I didn't really hit anything. He caught me a little bit in the left front then to straighten me back out, which was nice because it kept me out of the wall and out of everyone else's way there too.
What's the strategy going forward here at Bristol Motor Speedway? Obviously, you're going to try to keep that car clean. Easier said than done at the concrete blender.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of got the old retro conveyor belt style Bristol going right now. Everybody just seems like they're biding their time, playing it smart for the most part. It's going to be tough to get track position. I mean, we're turning some pretty slow lap times compared to practice in the back here, so it's just going to be all about track position right now and staying out of trouble.
Lights are off. Just about time to punch the clock and get back to work. Who do you want to send a shout out to? But it's your opportunity to thank anybody.
Oh, Justin Thompson, Rob Ackley for helping me out with this setup. I mean, they helped me out quite a bit this week, and they're awesome. So just want to thank them a bit.
There you go. That's Andrew Fayash III as he'll get ready to go back to racing here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And them, very calm, very cool, and very collected. Not the norm for Bristol.
No, Andrew is a veteran out here. He's a young guy, but he's got a lot of racing miles under his belt. As the pace car's off, green flag back out, and Tyler Hudson gets a big jump going down the corner number 1, and he'll help Thomas Hazard come through.
Thomas Hazard trying to pass up the number 10 of Derek Wood. Wood battling back on the high side, and take a look. who's working the inside. It's the number 9 of Ray Alfala as well. It looks like we're slowing him down again.
Yeah, it looks like Connor McKenzie got some trouble in corner number 3 or 2 that time.
Yeah, and that car not looking very good. The number 20 machine of Connor McKenzie, and trying to figure out exactly what happened to Connor. Looks like it just stepped out on McKenzie, and he hit the outside wall, then the inside wall, and spun to a stop coming into the corner. That's not the way you want to have your race at Bristol start, only 32 laps complete.
Yeah, he may have made some adjustments on that last pit stop that didn't agree with him. The restart just before this one, he got hung up on the outside line and lost a number of spots, but right there, he definitely, maybe cold tires or whatever, caught him out. He got a little sideways, overcorrected, and some other drivers, which we knew would get caught up in different incidents, but a number of cars that are heavily damaged in this one.
Connor saying he had a software lockup. Not exactly sure what would cause that for Connor, but he had a software lockup. You've got to wonder if the same could be said for Theo Olsen, and if that's the case, are they on a bad internet hop right now?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say what happened there, but it looked like it got loose, but you never know what happened. But there's a number of drivers that got involved in it. Some of the heavily damaged cars, the 14 car, I'm trying to figure out who that is. That Richard Davidowitz was involved in that. The 19 car was also involved. I think that was Lewandowski. And it looks like his car is pretty heavily damaged. And Nolan Scott in the 36 car was also involved.
Yeah, Lewandowski's car is dog tracking, basically going sideways down the racetrack, and I don't know if they can get that fixed up and get him back out there. He was 3rd in points, and this could kind of take him out of the points chase as the car is still dog walking. He'll come down and see if he can get more repairs done on it.
You know, Daryl, iRace.com is a worldwide service, and we have a lot of different members from all over the world, and that includes about 200 members from Japan. And our hearts go out to everybody in Japan right now, and with what they're dealing with. And iRacing.com, we're going to have a benefit race for all those in Japan, where all different iRacing members will be able to join this race. We're going to have 12 different races over a 24-hour period, and all iRacing members are eligible to participate, and each one is asked to donate at least $5 to the American Red Cross's Japanese Earthquake and Tsunami Fund. So, we have a lot of members from all over the world here at iRacing.com, and we want to do our best to acknowledge our friends in Japan who are going through a rough time right now.
And that's going to be 6 races for the street stocks at iRacing.com's virtual version of Thompson International Speedway, and 6 Mazda Roadster racers at Lime Rock. And you talk about the American Red Cross, one of my favorite groups out there. Is I've been known to give blood from time to time. Whenever I get the opportunity, I'll go and let them stick a needle in my arm and take the blood that they so desperately need. The American Red Cross announced earlier today that an initial contribution of $10 million to the Japanese Red Cross Society to assist in the ongoing efforts to provide medical care and relief assistance to the people of Japan following that March 11th earthquake and tsunami. Green flag flies. We are back underway, and of course our thoughts are with those that are affected by the earthquake and the tsunami.
Tyler Hudson, car number 1, leads. Who is that? Car number 2. Tyler Hudson in number 1, and Tom Hazard in car number 2 is taking the lead. And coming out corner number 2 right now, lap number 40, Thomas Hazard takes the lead.
Big time trouble for the number 9 of Ray Alfala. He found himself sideways, then found himself 3 wide as the number 15 of Brad Wright is on the inside of Ray Alfala. Wright picks up the spot, and here comes Barry.
Yeah, it looks like they're getting a little bit more dicey now, a little bit more aggressive with each other now. We had some 3 wide that last bit there, and it worked. As it looks like Hudson actually was the smarter of the guys. He got out there a little bit, but good run from Brad Wright right now, up into the 3rd spot.
Brad Wright doing a great job up in spot number 3. Thomas Hazard is your race leader. Derek Wood sits in 2nd. Where's Tyler Hudson? Tyler Hudson just struggling to hang on to a top 10. Those tires are chewed up. Hudson doing everything he can to get back down to the inside line.
Yeah, he's right now, last time by, he scored in the 13th position. Richie Davidowitz looking for a way by him right now. Davidowitz gets by him. Tyler Hudson back to 14th. But battle up front right now. Thomas Hazard half second over Derek Wood. Then it's another half second back to Brad Wright.
Nice running by Josh Berry as well. Of course, you'd expect Josh Berry to run quite well here at a short track, as he has plenty of short track experience. Berry, a late model racer.
Yeah, Barry's late model season will be starting up here soon down at was a Motor Mile Speedway, I believe they race at. But he's one of the fabricators in the DEI Motorsport shop. So right now, Connor McKenzie still having troubles. He's back in the pit, so not able to get that car fully repaired after that last incident.
That's a tough turn of events for Connor McKenzie. He will go multiple laps down here in this one, and the young one will not have a finish to show for his incredible qualifying effort. Your top three: Thomas Hazard, Derek Wood, and Brad Wright. I apologize. Thomas Hazard, Derek Wood, Brad Wright. Easy for me to say. Trouble in turn number 4. Daniel Pope, the second involved in this one again. That's a tough turn of events for Pope. And it looked like Pope was just cranking into the corner, and the 42 had to jump on the binders. Pope had no way to get lifted off, and Pope drove right into the back of him.
Yeah, it looked like Matthew Moose checked up there a little bit, and I'm not sure why. Maybe a little bit of a handling issue with that car. And the guys behind didn't anticipate that. And that's what happens here at Bristol. You know, you're running around this track so fast, and it's just so tight. And anybody messes up, everybody's running so close to each other. If anybody messes up, it causes one of these types of incidents where it's a chain reaction incident, and it just happens. There's not a whole lot you can do about it.
35 of Josh Connors has been retired from the event. It looks like Theo Olson has also, Theo Olson is back and trying to get as many laps as he possibly can, and Theo Olson will pass Josh Connors. Connor McKenzie looks like he will retire from the event. Nothing they can do with the damage, so McKenzie will likely drop a few more positions, or at least one more, as Theo Olson works his way by. How impressive was it to watch 43 cars take the green here at Bristol, Nim?
Oh, very impressive. And then, you know what's more impressive? It took a long time before they had any trouble at all. But, they're doing a great job out here. Still a lot of cars on the track. We have, I believe, 40 cars still circulating the track. And, it's still a lot of cars out there, and these guys doing a really good job.
Fans, don't forget to sign up and like PSR TV on Facebook. You can do that at facebook.com/PSRTV. That's facebook.com/PSRTV. We're trying to see how many likes we can get and how many fans and Facebook friends we can get with PSR TV. Help us out here and sign up for facebook.com/PSRTV.
I just clicked like. Cautions here at Bristol are pretty quick. We're getting ready to go double file again before we take the green. 52 laps into the race. We're working lap 52 right now. So I believe we got, I think, 2 more laps before we take the green. Josh Lawton finds his way up to the front of the pack right now. Currently second is Ben Sexton. So there's 2 guys electing to stay out. And as we saw from the last restart with Hudson, Darrell, it's probably not a good place to be for Joshua and Ben right now.
No, certainly not a good place to be for Lawton and for Ben Sexton. Look at a couple of drivers, or at least one with the wave around here, and that'll be the number 39 receiving the wave around. That's Matt Sentel. He'll get the wave around. Josh Lawton, the Sim Boots sponsored ride up at the front of the field. Ben Sexton sits in second spot. Third is Derek Wood. Fourth is Thomas Hazard. Then it's Brad Wright, Ray Alfala, Josh Berry, Josh Parker, Jeremy Allen, and your top 10 completed by Richard Towler. RT working strong towards the front. He is the defending race winner here at Bristol.
These guys have their best chance of gaining spots on the restarts here, and you're going to see the inside line being aggressive, trying to gain positions on that outside line, and the outside line being aggressive, trying to get back down to that inside line. So we'll see how it works. It's usually not a recipe that fits too well together, but they take green flag and back through it from 1 and 2.
Down the back stretch, watching that number 10 of Derek Wood working the inside line. Wood will clear the number 2 machine as Thomas Hazard gets stuck to the outside momentarily, trying to get back down to the inside, and he will.
Looks like Lofton doing a good job out front right now. The 29 car of Ben Sexton slips up the track a little bit. That lets Derek Wood down the inside. Sexton's come down just a little bit to pinch Derek, but he was able to keep it off the wall and makes the pass, and that puts the Ben Sexton car up in the outside line, and he's going to fall way back.
Yeah, he's going to fall way back as Ray Alfala works the inside group. Now Sexton able to drop in behind Ray Alfala, but Sexton well off the pace, and he better be on that wheel or he's going to be in the outside wall very soon. Trouble in turn number 3.
Looks like car number 19 involved.
That's Thomas Lewandowski, our third in points racer. Lewandowski looks like he's going to be done for the night, as that car just got away from Lewandowski in the straightaway, and then also the 16 involved and a couple other drivers involved. Lewandowski looks like his day will be all done. This will be a throwaway for Thomas Lewandowski.
Bristol can be a throwaway. Yeah, that's the way a lot of people look at Bristol coming into it. It's one of those tracks where it can reach up and bite you pretty quick, and it's going to reach up and bite most of these drivers. But it looks like Thomas just lost it on his own there, and as he apologized to the rest of the guys. But tough night for Thomas Lewandowski. Looks like just before the incident, he and Jesse Atchison had a little bit of contact, but that's kind of normal here at Bristol. So
we're going to go ahead, take a quick break here on PSR TV, and we'll come back. You're watching the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. You got it live on PSR TV. Welcome back here on PSR TV as we get set to go back to green flag racing conditions. Joshua Lawton is your race leader as they come out of turn number 2 and down the backstretch. It's going to be Lawton and Wood side by side with a restart, then Wright and Hazard, Berry, Alfala, Sexton, Allen, Parker, and Schoenberg. Richard Towler just a tick outside the top 10. Richie DeVito is closing in on the top 10. Jordan Erickson having a solid run in the 19th position as well. Pace car makes that hard left-hand turn, and we are back under green conditions.
Joshua Lofton takes him to the green flag fairly early coming off corner number 4. That doesn't let Derek Wood get a run. The 15 car of Brad Wright looking to the inside of Lofton right now, coming off corner number 2, but can't make it happen. Derek Wood forces his way back down to the 14th spot, or the 4th spot.
Lawton slides up the racetrack as the battle for the lead starts to rage on. Wright on the inside, Lawton on the outside. Wright will gobble up the number 22 of Joshua Lawton. The Simboot car drops to 4th.
Yep, and Josh Berry follows him through. Lawton will fall back a little bit here. Now Derek Wood follows him through, so Lawton will go back at least 5 or 6 spots.
Yellow flag out, the number, I believe, 16 around out of turn number 2. The 16 machine of Jamison Spieth around, and also the 41 involved in a separate incident over on the front stretch.
Yeah, that 41 car is Dana Weimeyer. He's got his car righted again, and he's following back up. Also getting reports of Theo Olsen involved in that incident.
So Brad Wright, now your race leader. Josh Berry sits in 2nd. Derek Wood is 3rd. 4th is Thomas Hazard. Then it's Joshua Lawton in 5th. 6th is Ray Alfala. 7th is Jeremy Allen. 8th is Ben Sexton. 9th is Josh Parker. And 10th is RT, Richard Towler. And the early part of this season has not been a season that Richard Towler wants to remember. He's been extremely busy with his job with Eutechnics as their release date continues to inch closer and closer and closer. I believe, 2 weeks away for the boys at Eutechnics to get very, very busy for the console stuff? So Towler should potentially find himself with a little bit more practice time in the not-too-distant future. Brad Wright continues to lead this race. Nice, solid run for Brad Wright so far.
Yeah, Brad Wright doing a great job. He is a rookie driver up here, being that this is his first season in this series. The guy's got a ton of experience under his belt. He's a great driver. His dad is a well-known racer, too, here at Steve. But these guys out there racing all the time. Brad, a part of the Abudo team, and him and Josh Berry, part of that same team. Those guys do a lot of practice together, as all these guys in this series practice with each other a whole lot. But Brad Wright, one of the nice guys of the series, actually, he's doing a real good job. He's a wheelman, and he's also one of the nice kids involved in iRacing.
Came into tonight 23rd in points, had been relatively quiet here within the series. 21.5 as his average finishing position. That hopefully will improve for him tonight. Brad Wright could use a nice strong run, and why not have it right here at Bristol Motor Speedway? And what a gorgeous rendition of Bristol this is. Of course, the laser scan technology assures that it is accurate to the millimeter. However, the way it looks, the absolute beauty of Bristol, that's all thanks to Mr. Bruden Smith.
Looks like we'll get the green flag here as they round 3 and 4. Brad Wright on the inside. He's got his teammate Josh Berry up on the outside. Berry will want to get down there in the 2nd spot. Maybe they're talking to each other and see how that can work. But Derek Wood is going to want to have none of that. He's going to want to try to keep Berry up there on the outside as we go green.
Green flag flies. Berry's going to drive it in nice and deep on the high side, but Wright will battle back on the inside, and Brad Wright continues to maintain that lead. Here comes Berry in the crossover. Berry down to the inside of Brad Wright. Josh Berry to the top spot.
Yeah, that was a good move coming out corner number 2 there. He was able to pull the crossover move on Wright. Wright able to hold on to that second spot. Derek Wood third, and the number 2 car, Thomas Hazard, there in fourth.
So Berry, your leader. Wright sits in second. Wood, Hazard, and Lawton, your top 5. That's the way they run as they cross the stripe and complete lap number 72.
Looks like Joshua Lofton having a little bit of trouble back there. He's up on the outside line and losing a number of positions right now. Those old tires are starting to cause problems for Joshua Lawton.
Josh Parker trying to work his way towards the front. Parker trying to find his way around the number 21 of Jeremy Allen. Allen having a strong run. Very, very solid as you go in car with Josh Parker in the Xlander Verdane sponsored ride.
Yeah, Jeremy Allen, one of those rookie drivers this season. Jeremy, one of the most aggressive drivers on the circuit. He's gotten himself in trouble a couple of times here at iRacing, but he's one of the fastest on the service and one of the most aggressive. But he's trying to put it together. Maybe this series is getting that maturity that we talked about earlier here, Daryl, and he's doing a good job up there in the 6th spot.
So Josh Parker continues to try to work on Jeremy Allen, and you mentioned the aggression that Jeremy Allen has been showing recently, and that's the same kind of aggression that Josh Parker used to show. Is this kind of a situation of Parker racing himself the way he used to be?
Oh, there's no doubt. That's a good point there, but yeah, I think that's a good comparison. As you see a lot of similarities between these 2 drivers. With Parker having one more year of experience under his belt, maybe that and a little bit more maturity. But Jeremy's done a good job here, and he's got a lot of guys helping him out. And he's a very fast guy, and he's looking good up here, running in the 6th spot right now. Joshua Lofton back there in the 13th spot. Continues to lead over
Brad Wright. Derek Wood is third. Fourth is Thomas Hazard, followed by Ray Alfala. Then Jeremy Allen, Josh Parker, RT, Richard Towler, Richie Davidowitz, and Jason Burstein as your top 10.
Looking at Ben Sexton right now, 38 of Jordan Erickson stuck up on the outside right now. The 7 car of Brian Schoenberg. The 29 gets hit up in the wall there a little bit by Schoenberg as he goes past, but the 29, remember, is on old tires, and he's trying to keep down that inside line, but he just doesn't have the grip that all these other cars do, and they're going to muscle their way by if they can.
Maybe the fastest painted up Herbie car I've seen in a long, long time. Looks just like the Herbie car, doesn't it?
It does. It needs some fresh rubber on it right now, though.
Tyler Hudson just tapped the wall as the 22 machine just ahead of him. That's Josh Lawton and the 33 of Patrick Vogler side by side. Now make it Lawton and Hudson. Now make it Lawton and the 7 car of Brian Schoenberg. Schoenberg, the JDR Graphics painted up machine, as JDR Graphics does a lot of these paint schemes. I would say close to half of the field are JDR Graphics cars.
Yeah, Lawson again on those old tires, falling back, and we'll see how important tires are now. And anytime these guys get a decent green flag run, like they're getting right now, they had a yellow flag right now. Everybody's going to be wanting to pit for tires, and we're going to have to remember that for later in the race, as we got trouble in 4 right now. Looks like Matthew
double in
Moose
turn
is
number 4. It's the 17 and the, we'll double check. I believe that might have been the 41 that got into him initially, and then the 39 got into it a little bit later on. That looks like it was Stephen Gilbert. That wasn't Gilbert that got into him. It might have been Dana Weimer in the 41. Looks like it was Weimer in the 17 that got together.
Yeah, the 17 car and the 41, I believe, were also involved in the last caution flag. So those guys bending up some feathers here a little bit as everybody heads down towards pit road.
And they're all going to be screaming for 4 fresh tires, except for maybe the drivers at the back. They may want to take a chance and roll the dice for 2, but I wouldn't suggest it. I would suggest 4 fresh tires as the order of the day here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Tires, tires, tires. You're all going to need tires.
Yeah, and you don't want 4. You want you don't want 2. You want to take 4 right now at this point in the race. This, you don't want to get yourself in trouble. As we saw those 2 cars that started up on the front row just a few laps ago, where are they now? They're back in about 30th position. So you want to take on those 4 tires, and you want to make sure that you don't hinder yourself and you give yourself the tools you need to do well in this race.
I think if they could, these drivers would take 6 or 8 fresh tires, maybe even a dozen tires. Give me as many tires as I can fit on this car, and then see if you can find a way to squeeze one more in, maybe put some casters on the right side of the car so I can brush the wall and not have it be a big deal. So many things that you wish you could do here at Bristol. A lot of these drivers, by the end of this thing, might wish they had wheels on the roof.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm Daryl Morley. Next to me is Nim Cross. And Nim, tonight we are watching Bristol Motor Speedway, courtesy of the great folks at the iRacing.com service. Why don't you tell the folks what iRacing is all about?
Well, what you're looking at here is 43 drivers from all over the country and around the world racing from their home PCs. And they're taking part in a competition here at Bristol Motor Speedway and driving from the comfort of their own homes. And, this allows everybody to be a NASCAR driver. This is a NASCAR sanctioned series, and if you want to race at iRacing.com, and if you want to be a NASCAR driver, come join us at iRacing.com. Right now, we have a number of different specials that you can take advantage of. You can buy 1 month and get 2 free, so 3 total months for the price of $12. And or you can purchase a year's membership at a better value for $99 a year. So for that price, you'll be able to race on the service, and you'll be able to race NASCAR. We also have sports car racing, a number of different types of sports car racing. Formula One, Williams Formula One car, IndyCar, ISOT IndyCar, and the Riley GP cars, DP cars, that is, the Riley Grand Am series. So a number of different oval series, anything that you like there, and different road series. Come join us at www.iracing.com, and you can check it out, and plenty of good videos there to show you what's going on.
And for those of us that are a little bit newer to the iRacing service, there's also some great instructional videos and some great tips. And the iRacing community, of course, always willing to help you out. The better they help you get, the better off everyone's going to be in the long run. After all, a chain in the iRacing community is a chain, is only as strong as its weakest link. Green flag flies. We are back underway here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
One of our series veterans from last season up front now, Josh Berry in the number 3 car. Josh Berry running in the first spot. His teammate back there in the 15th spot, or I'm sorry, the 15 car in second spot right now.
9 and the 2, Thomas Hazard and Ray Alfala spent a little bit of time side by side, but they get down to single file, and behind them, the battle between the 12 of Richard Towler and the 21 of Jeremy Allen. Allen, that newcomer to the series, the aggressive Jeremy Allen, and Richard Towler. Towler on the inside, Allen on the outside.
Yeah, it looks like Towler, the veteran, will get the benefit of that battle right now, or the hand up on that battle. Is Towler doing a good job of trying to pull his championship fight back together right now. 7th position here in Bristol, a pretty good position to be in right now. Jeremy Allen back there in the 8th spot.
We had our short replay of an incident that happened on the start. We did not go yellow flag, so we didn't go a full-fledged replay on it. But we did see a little glimpse of it and the action all over Bristol Motor Speedway, and it's awfully difficult to get a lap in without some sort of action here at Bristol.
Yep, and it's awful hard to stay on the lead lap, as right now the 35th place car of Matt Santel is 12.8 seconds behind the leader. That must mean he's only about 2 or 3 seconds behind getting lapped right now as we ride in car with Ray Alfala.
Ray Alfala taking us for a tour in the JDR Graphics sponsored ride, and Ray Alfala doing quite well here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Alfala trying to track down that number 2 of Thomas Hazard. They were side by side not too long ago. Don't be surprised when they get side by side again, but coming up on Ray Alfala's back bumper, none other than Josh Parker.
Finished lap 100 laps of this 250 lap race. So 100 laps down, 150 more to go.
Josh Berry is your leader. Brad Wright sits in second. Derek Wood is third. Fourth is Thomas Hazard, followed by Ray Alfala to round out your top 5. Sixth is Josh Parker, followed by Richard Towler, Jeremy Allen, Richie Davidowitz, and Jason Burstein.
Running in 11th right now is Chris Main, 12th Brian Schoenberg, 13th Greg Spears, 14th Jordan Erickson, Darren Stevens 15th, Jameson Spees 16th, Brad Davies, one of your championship fighters from last year, the runner-up, is in the 17th position. Nolan Scott 18th, Charles Cosper 19th, Byron Daly is 20th.
21st is Joshua Lawton, followed by Tyler Hudson, Patrick Fogle, Ben Sexton, Justin Trombley, Stephen Gilbert, Jason Anderson, Andrew Fayesh III, Robert Hall, and Jesse Atchison to round out the top 30.
Leaders are in heavy traffic right now. The 41 car of who is that? That's Dana Weimeyer goes a lap down right now. As Josh now looking towards the 39 car and trying to put him a lap down. That's Matt Santel.
Barry works to the inside of Santel, also of Theo Olsen, as Olsen trying to stay out of trouble. He was one of the drivers that was up towards the front early on in this race. Then he had some sort of issues. The car wound up in the outside wall under yellow flag conditions, and Olsen just really unable to recollect from that point.
Yeah, but now that they're getting in lap traffic's going to take up some space here, and now that's going to let the leaders get away here, as they look like they're getting through these lap traffic pretty good.
Just about 5 laps away from having a lot of company up at the front of this field, and a lot of times Bristol in these short tracks comes down to how well you navigate lap traffic, as these drivers know that yes, they have every right to be wherever they want on the racetrack, but they also are very well aware that this week it might be them getting lapped, next week it might be them doing the lapping, and they want these other drivers to have respect for them and get out of the way, just as they are trying to do for the leaders.
And you know, if you are Josh Berry, you're one of the cars up front right now, and you got some guy giving you a hard time, you know, getting around and you're way off the pace, and it comes next week, you are going to remember that. And, you know, you're not going to be very nice to that guy when he needs it the next time. So these guys know that, and they're going to give when they need to give for the most part, and they're going to take when they got to take. So these guys are all here for a reason, and they're all very smart about this type of racing.
Tracking down more lap traffic. The number 42 about to go a lap down. The GSR sponsored ride. He'll slide to the high side and let these leaders go as you ride roof cam on the number 3 of Josh Berry. And look at the pack of lappers ahead, or soon to be lappers, I should say. They are not a lap down yet, and they have every right to fight to stay on the lead lap. And this is about the time where those drivers that are about to go a lap down finally realize, oh my God, the leader's coming. We have to go. Oh goodness. There's nowhere to go.
And now with all this, with the lap traffic going on, decent green flag run here, we're starting to see who the fast guys, you know, are on, and who the best guys are on tires. Obviously, Josh Berry out front right now, a .642 second lead, but he's doing well out front. I believe Brad Wright might be holding up Derek Wood just a little bit. Wood might be biding his time. Wood about 3 or 4 car lengths off of the back of Brad Wright, but Wood staying right there with Brad. Brad doing a great job there in the second spot. Thomas Hazard and Ray Alfala falling off a little bit from that third place battle, but and the lap traffic not even allowing those guys to gain back up. But we're seeing the guys right now who are who are the good cars for Lee, as looks like your leader having some problems with lapping Steve Sheehan right now.
Sheehan will make it work for everything you get, but once you get that inside line, he will give it to you. But Steve Sheehan, every right to every inch of the racetrack, just as these leaders have. So it's not like they have to move out of the way and let the leaders go. It's not a hard, fast rule. The leaders do appreciate when you slide up out of that inside groove, but you do not have to. You have every right to that racetrack, and if you are truly that much faster than a car about to go a lap down, you can work your way by him nice and clean, just like Josh Berry did with Steve Sheehan.
Yeah, it's hard to do, though. And like you said, if you're going to make it hard on me this week, you might want me to get free next week, and it might not happen. So right now, Sheehan moves up a little bit for Brad right there. May have held him up a little bit in that last corner, but riding him real tight down through corner number 1 and 2 as Derek Wood works his way by now.
Yeah, I don't think Steve Sheehan was doing anything wrong, as Sheehan, a very, very experienced veteran. I think Steve Sheehan moved up that half a lane when he had to move up the half a lane, and once Josh Berry got the run, Sheehan gave him the space that he needed. You only need to give him a car's width to allow Josh Berry to get to the inside, and that's all Steve Sheehan gave him. He gave him what he needed, not an inch more.
Yeah, that's right, and that's what makes these guys the professionals that they are.
They are side by side at the head of the race leader, Josh Berry, in heavy traffic now. Theo Olson on the high side. He's multiple laps down. He's going to lift off the throttle and let these leaders work their way by. Josh Berry finds himself in heavy, heavy lap traffic.
Yeah, Brian Blackford getting real squirrely out in front of the leaders right now, not making it easy at all for the leaders, as he's not one to get by.
Brian Blackford needs to be aware that Josh Berry, the race leader, is on his back bumper, and something tells me Brian Blackford knows exactly who's on his back bumper, and he's not going to give it to Josh Berry. Berry almost put the bumper to Blackford.
Yeah, Berry's only going to wait so long. If you're going to hold him up, you're going to get moved. So.
In car with the race leader as he creeps up onto the back bumper of Brian Blackford. Just can't quite get that run on Blackford. Oh, Berry slips up. Berry up the racetrack, and there goes Wright back into the top spot. Josh Berry is not going to be a happy man.
Yeah, Berry got a little bit frustrated behind that lap car right there. Tried to maybe tap him without wrecking him, and it's hard to do. And looked like he got a little bit out of shape right there, and it cost him a few spots.
Now we'll see what Brad Wright can do with the number 43. Gives him a little shot. Well, you can turn him. That'll get you by him, no doubt about it.
Yeah, if you're not going to get out of the way, you're going to get the bumper. And that's what short track racing is all about.
The 10 side by side now with Ray Alfala. Ray Alfala working hard on the high side.
Yep, Josh Berry back underneath of Alfala down the inside. Looks like he's got the preferred groove right now. Alfala going to fall back into, I believe that's the 4th spot right there.
Unbelievable save on behalf of Brian Blackford. What a great save from Blackford, and that's not going to make Blackford happy. He's the kind of guy, he'll race you nice and clean as long as you race him clean. Something tells me next time Brad Wright gets around Brian Blackford, he may want to have some carnival tickets saved up because he's going to need them for the ride he's going to take.
Yeah, I don't know. He was holding up the leaders there pretty good. It was time to lay the bumper on him, I think. But you're holding them up, and they got to go. So, I think one side's mad at the other side, and the other side's mad at the other side. They both got rights to be mad, I guess.
As the number 10 of Derek Wood gets passed down to the inside by Josh Berry. Berry picks up a spot, and they are several seconds behind the race leader. And I would argue that Brian Blackford didn't do anything wrong. He was running his race. He held his line. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He wasn't brake checking anybody. Yes, he was off the pace. However, he has every right to that piece of racetrack until somebody can cleanly take it away. And I don't think anybody could argue that what Brad Wright did was cleanly take that racetrack away from the number 43.
Yep, anybody can hold anybody up, and as long as they can stay in the groove. It's hard to get any position here at Bristol. And with as fast as these guys are from first to last, it's very hard, and they do need to cooperate with each other a little bit, and that's part of it. And yes, you can very legally and without without any remorse to anybody, hold your line and take up that space. But the leader's not going to put up with it very long, and they're going to try to work their way by. And I don't think Brad wanted to wreck the guy, and it had happened. Just like Josh Berry got held up before. He lost 2 spots because he was trying to hold up and back up. So neither one of them did anything wrong, I don't think. And one of them wants to work their way by, one of them doesn't want to get past.
Well, you know what it comes down to? This is Bristol. That's what it comes down to, and these drivers know if you give an inch at Bristol, they're going to take a mile, as now Brad Wright starts to see a little bit of cleaner racetrack ahead of him, and that's what he needed to see because he had Thomas Hazard breathing down his neck.
Yep, Hazard right there with Wright, and it looks like the 16, I believe that's a lap car. We'll have to check it out here, but the 16 having some trouble, and he's some guys trying to get by him right now, and he's very loose. Yeah, Josh Berry's trying to work his way by the 16 car right now. That's Jamison Spees. Spees up on the outside car. He's fighting a very ill-handling race car right now. Ray Alfalo works his way past the 6 car. Who is that? Jesse Atchison. He's trying to stay in front of these guys too.
Jesse Atchison right now would be the lucky dog if the yellow flag was to come out. Jesse Atchison slides up the racetrack. Josh Berry will work his way by on the inside. Now, one of the neat things that these drivers that are in 3rd and 4th and 5th are getting to deal with, I should say, is these lap down cars are already a lap down when they get to them. As a result, they are more willing to get up out of the racing groove and let these drivers by. They don't have to work nearly as hard as Brad Wright and Thomas Hazard have to work to get by these cars. Reason is, they're no longer fighting to stay on the lead lap. They have already been lapped.
Yeah, and you definitely want to try to stay on the lead lap, like we've seen some guys do. Every lap is everything. And once you're on the lead lap, and you can make adjustments in your car, be in contention. You don't want to fall that lap down. And but you're right, well, there's no reason to hold the rest of the guys up, and that does make it harder for the leaders. As Brad Wright now works lap number 144 of 250.
Being informed that we do not, in fact, have a lucky dog rule, so there's no reason to try to be the first car 1 lap down. So we'll just go ahead and just wipe that one off and just forget I said anything about the lucky dog because it doesn't exist here in this race. Brad Wright starting to close in on some more lap traffic. Next up on the hit parade, the number 25, about to go more than 1 lap down. The next driver to go a lap down should be Stephen Gilbert in the number 31. So Wright, your race leader. Thomas Hazard sits in 2nd. 3rd is Josh Berry. A decent gap between 2nd and 3rd, almost a second between 2nd and 3rd, and that might as well be a lifetime here at Bristol Motor Speedway. So Brad Wright trying to close in on some more lap traffic. We could see green flag pit stops here if this race continues on much longer. Just about 148, almost 148 laps complete here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Now 148 complete. We are closing on the 100 lap to go mark. Brad Wright, your leader, now in some more heavy lap traffic. The number 25 is the next car ahead of him, and that 25 car is, we'll double check, that's John Prather. Prather in the 40th position, several laps down. Prather will slide up to the high side, and they are side by side ahead of your race leader. Brad Wright will now have to deal with some more lap traffic. The 29 of Ben Sexton, next driver to go a lap down, and it wasn't that long before Sexton, or long ago, when Sexton was racing in the top 10. Now Sexton about to go a lap down. You ride on the Rucan with your race leader, Brad Wright, as Wright works his way to the inside of the number 38 machine. That's Jordan Erickson. Ericsson got stuck to the high side, and the leaders now will work their way by, and working through this lap traffic. That gap between second and third has disappeared. Josh Berry is all over the back bumper of Thomas Hazard, as now Wright tries to work his way by Sexton. Wright trying to find a way to the inside of Sexton. Sexton drifts up the racetrack a little bit. Everybody's starting to see worn tires starting to show their ugly head here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Yeah, and these guys. Remember, Ben Sexton has more worn tires than anybody else out here. As he's back here. I don't think he got a chance to get them. Maybe he did, but right now everybody on ill-handling tires and having some trouble getting through this lap traffic right now. This is what makes it fun. This will be a test
of your patience here at Bristol Motor Speedway, as Brad Wright having his patience tested. He drifts up the racetrack, opens the door. Here comes Thomas Hazard. Thomas Hazard down to the inside. He'll pick up the top spot. Berry will follow him through. Wright will drop in line in third.
Yeah, Wright got into that corner way too hot that time. Got up the got up the track on those greasy tires. That lets the veteran, the Thomas Hazard, on by. Brad and Josh Berry follows him through also.
You ride in car with second place Josh Berry. He's one mistake away from being your race leader if that mistake is made by Thomas Hazard. However, Thomas Hazard not exactly known for making many mistakes here in the iRacing service, Nim.
No, Thomas Hazard is one of those veteran guys who's been around this a long time. He knows what he's doing out there. He runs up on Ben Sexton right there. Almost gets into him just a little bit, but does a good job of staying off up there in 3 and 4.
This should be interesting. They're side by side, a little bit ahead of your race leaders, and nowhere for Thomas Hazard to go. Hazard wants to get by that number 29 of Sexton. Sexton holding him up, but he has every right to use the racetrack.
Yeah, I believe Jameson Spees there has got fresh tires on his car or something like that, because he's working his way through the leaders. He's going to want by them as they put some moves on some lap traffic coming up right now. Looking at Spees, he is 3 laps down, trying to get one of those laps back. But Spees right now does have some fresh tires. He went by Josh Berry, and Josh Berry didn't want to let him by right there, but Berry's going to have to let him go.
Yeah, very well off the pace out of the corner here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Not quite sure what happened with Josh Berry, but obviously fresher tires will prevail for Jameson Spees.
Yeah, Spees, that car is still very loose. He's got to set up into that car that's pretty hard to handle, and that's probably why he got in trouble that last time. This long stint with those tires. But who expected all these cars on this track and such a green flag run, and actually a couple even green flag pit stops now. So who expected this? These guys probably set up for short sprint races, and that caught Jameson Spees out a little bit.
This may work out for Spees as long as this thing goes through a cycle and he can get a yellow flag not long after. Jameson Spees could wind up coming out ahead of this deal. Ben Sexton still doing a great job of holding off the leaders, as Spees far enough away from the leaders beyond the halfway point now that Spees able to get around Sexton, and Sexton able to get back down in racing groove.
Before you know it, Darryl, we're getting down into the later stages of this race. We only got about 85 laps to go from here. This time by, we'll have 85 laps to go, working lap 165 of 250. So, we're getting down to it. There's probably going to be one more pit stop, and you're going to be right there at the finish. Oh, in some trouble. It looks like the Hazard got into the back of the 29 car of Ben Sexton. Sexton goes around in corner number 3 and 4, and there's your caution.
Got the yellow that he needed, although he was involved in it. Little bit of a shot from Hazard to Sexton, and around went Sexton. Tough break for Sexton, as Hazard just finally ran out of patience. Couldn't get around him, gave him a shot.
Yeah, Hazard got up in the wall there a little bit. May have had some damage to that car. He's able to retain his number 1 position over Berry. I believe Berry had to fall back and get back in there. So we have been green since lap number 79, and so that's about a 90-lap run there at green.
Pit stops taking place here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and looks like Thomas Hazard will lead them down for some service on pit road, and we'll see who wins the battle off from pit road. I don't think a lot of people are going to be trying to stay out at this point, although those drivers that have made that green flag pit stop obviously will stay out right here under this condition. It looks like Thomas Hazard will win the race off from pit road. Right behind him will be Josh Berry, Jeremy Allen, Brad Wright, Richie Davidowitz up there in the mix, Ray Alfala up in the mix, Josh Parker, Jason Burstein, Richard Towler, Chris Main, Brian Schoenberg, Patrick Vogel, Greg Spears, Joshua Lawton, Charles Cosper, Derek Wood still on pit road. Extended pit stop for Wood. Now Wood off from pit road and back out to the racing surface. So that's your yellow flag pit stops. We have 168 laps complete, working on 169. There we go, 169 laps complete. Make sure you don't go anywhere. We're going to bring you to the checkers when we come back. You're watching the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship live from Bristol Motor Speedway right here on PSR TV.
Back here at the Bristol Motor Speedway, we are working lap number 172 of 250. The pace car is off, and Thomas Hazard leads them down pit road. Josh Berry follows him behind, and Jeremy Allen looking to take that third position over Brad Wright.
Right up on the high side, Allen on the inside. Here comes Ray Alfala now down to the inside of Brad Wright, and that's the last place you want to be, is stuck to the high side on these restarts.
Yeah, and this is where everybody's going to be trying to get, and the caution flag is out. Stephen Gilbert is around, it looks like in 3 and 4.
Looks like Stephen Gilbert drove into the back of the 26, and Derek Wood got him. Gilbert had to get on the brakes hard and still got into the 26 car, and that would be Jason Anderson. Anderson will take a little bit of damage from that. Anderson was off the gas and may have had some difficulty getting into the corner, but hard contact between Derek Wood and the number 31 of Stephen Gilbert.
You know, we didn't document or see what happened there. At least I didn't, Daryl. Derek Wood way back in the pack now. He was running up front earlier, but back there currently in the 22nd position.
But still on the lead lap, and to be honest, here at Bristol, that might be all that matters to have a shot to win.
Right now, since he's that far back and did have a little bit of contact there, he's on pit road getting fresh tires, so he's going to have a little bit fresh tires the most, but he's looking at making his charge back up to the front here in the last 75 laps of this race.
And where is your points leader, Ray Alfala, right now running in the 9th position? That's where your points leader runs. Second in points, Josh Parker sits in the 7th position. Third in points, Thomas Lewandowski. Not quite so lucky. Lewandowski is, well, we'll double check it, scroll way down, 41st for Lewandowski. Thomas Hazard, he's in the 2 car here tonight. Thomas Hazard is in the 2 car, and Hazard is your current race leader. And John Gorlinski, you know what? We have not seen John Gorlinski all night long. He is not in tonight's race. That's where your top 5 coming in currently sit.
Yeah, it's tough making this race, and it looked like John had a little bit of trouble making this race. So this will definitely be one of his drops. Don't forget, iRacing members, that iRacing TV Episode 8 is coming out soon, or is out right now, so you can check it out at iRacing.com. Check out iRacing TV Episode 8.
Standings that you see scrolling across your screen are the standings coming into tonight. They are not the current race standings. They are the standings coming into tonight's race.
Lights are off on the pace car, working lap number 177 right now. We'll get the green flag on lap number 178. So about 73, 72 laps to go when we go back green. Still a lot of time here, especially if we get a long green flag run, but we are down to the end of it now, and these guys are going to want to make positions. I think the patience is about to run out now, and I think we're about to see a lot more bent fenders happen.
Yeah, I would agree. We're about to see a lot more bent up fenders happening very, very soon. We've got plenty of racing left to go. Green flag flies. We are back underway here at Bristol.
Ray Alfala get a good restart there in the 3rd position. He was up in 4th. He was able to get a better restart than Jeremy Allen there. Jeremy Allen losing a spot. Richie Davidowitz right back there in the 5th position. Brad Wright in 6th.
Hazard, Barry, Alfala, Allen, and Davidowitz, your top 5. Richie D has worked his way up into a top 5 position. Nice run for the rookie in the series.
Yeah, a lot of rookie drivers doing a good job and are up challenging right now with the veterans. Jeremy Allen, Richie Davidowitz, Brad Wright, all right there fighting it out with the veteran drivers here from last season.
I know Richie Davidowitz is a future guest on Hot Lap Radio as well. Looking forward to talking to Richie. We've got a goal of trying to we've got trouble in turn number 4. We'll talk about that. We'll continue talking about the radio in just a little bit, but we've got trouble in turn number 4.
Yeah, it looks like Byron Daly involved in that last one. It looks like Byron may have got high, maybe a little slight contact there, and he gets down on the track, and that collects Brad Davies, last year's runner-up and last week's winner, having some trouble here at Bristol this time by, and also involved the 29 car again. I forget who that is, but we'll have to look. Ben Sexton involved in that again.
Kind of confusing that Byron Daly would come right back down across the racetrack. I'm not in the car, so I can't really judge on that one, but right back down across the racetrack and right across the nose of the number 5 of Brad Davies. That's not going to make Davies happy, and his night was already crashed.
Yeah, he wasn't having a good night tonight, but most likely the car was out of control, and he was trying to gather it back up, but, you know, it's hard to say from our position, huh?
Thomas Hazard is your race leader. Josh Berry sits in 2nd spot. The 2nd and 3rd rated drivers coming into tonight's event. The number 1 rated driver here within the series is Tyler Hudson, as Tyler is very proud of his number 1 rating, and why shouldn't he be? You get to race with that number 1 on the side of your car. Hazard, Berry, and I'll follow your top 3. Allen, Davidowitz, Wright, Parker, Burstein, and then Schoenberg and Towler, your top 10. So Richard Towler still hovering around that top 10 position. He's not exactly setting the world on fire this year.
Well, no, and he's had his bad first 2 races, although he's had some really good runs. And he's proven that, he's still one of the best out here on the track. He's just had some bad luck and some bad finishes. Some of the luck of his own doing, some of it not. But for what it's worth, he had 2 bad races, and he's having a good race here at Bristol. Bristol is one of those tracks that he can get in trouble in, and he's doing a good job knowing that he's probably already used up his 2 drop weeks for the season. He's doing his best right now, running in the top 10 here at Bristol. You get out of here with a top 10, and you're having a good week.
Fans, don't forget to sign up here with PSR TV's Facebook, the new Facebook page for PSR TV at facebook.com/PSR TV. That's facebook.com/PSR TV. Join the PSR TV Facebook Nation.
Lights are out on the safety car, lap number 187. They're working right now. They'll get the green at the start of lap number 188. That will be 62 laps to go at the point of the green flag. So, actually 63 if you got to finish 188. So, still a little bit of a distance to run and tires to think about. So, there's still a lot of strategies to be played out here, and the guys up front definitely have an advantage, but you got to be careful. Cautions come out. You got to know when to make your pit stop, and they probably will make another pit stop by the end of this race.
Oh, they will likely want at least to make a pit stop, but if this thing goes green, and not likely, but if it does go green, they will not be able to, and they won't really need to as far as fuel goes. Nice restart for the 2 of Thomas Hazard. Side by side is Ray Alfala and Josh Berry. Alfala with the position. Ray Alfala the second.
Alfala having a fantastic first 3 races. He's up in the 6th spot as we do have a caution flag.
Greg Spears heavily involved in this one. The 16, Jamison Spieth involved in this as well. And one of the difficulties we have is looks like Spears got real loose. We'll try to see if he had a little bit of help to get loose. Oh, he did. The 22 got into him. That's Joshua Lawton. Then the 32 got into him. Tried to get it gathered back up. The 10 of Woods spun in front of him, and then all hell broke loose.
Yep, Derek Wood back. These guys looked like they had it gathered back up, and then the guys from the back came piling in. But that's kind of normal and for par here at Bristol. But Spees and the 34 car and Wood heavily damaged in that incident.
Greg Spears just taking an absolute pounding on that one. Unfortunate for that car. That car heavily damaged. We'll see just how many repairs can be exacted on that 34 car.
Yep, and these drivers are making repairs on pit road now. They haven't had that luxury before, but now are able to make some pit road repairs, as we see a lot of drivers taking advantage of this tonight, as right now out of 43 cars, 35 cars are still running, and we've had way more cars than that involved in all these incidents. So the repair process getting a heavy workout here tonight. Don't forget, if you like what you're seeing, if you like what you're seeing here tonight, visit www.iracing.com and take advantage of the special deals we have for new signups. Buy 1 month and get 2 free. So for the price of $12, you can join us for 3 months and test out your racing skills and test out the service and see if you like it or not. Or even better yet, sign up for a whole year for $99. And that's the best value you'll get right there. So $99, come race with us. NASCAR, IZOD Indy cars, Grand Am series, and much more.
We'll see if we can hook up Boots of Car Communications with our in-race reporter, Andrew Fayash III. Andrew, you there, buddy?
Yeah, buddy.
Andrew, it's been one heck of a race thus far. It's been up and down, and that car relatively clean as compared to the rest of these cars out there. What's the secret, bud?
Just being careful. This thing's amazing on long runs. I know we're not going to get another really long one, but this thing just comes around on long runs. It's just about being careful and giving the take and when necessary.
At what point, I know we're about to go back to green flag here, at what point does it stop having any give and it just becomes take now?
Oh, I'd say about 25 laps from now, you're going to see everybody start taking. If not sooner.
All right, there you go. Punch the clock and get back to work, buddy. All right, we'll talk to you later on.
10-4.
It's Andrew Fayash III as he gets ready to go back to work. He'll be coming from the 21st position. Not a bad run for Andrew. Just barely qualified into the field and said, I went easy on my qualifier, didn't want to get into the wall. That's very important for these drivers to have a nice, clean qualifying run. Green flag flies. We are back underway. Hazard is your race leader.
Josh Parker on that restart got a lot of wheel spin and got messed up back there in about the 10th or 7th or 8th position, and it looks like everybody got it back up right Alfala. Looks like car 32 around in turn 2.
And we jinxed Andrew Fayash III as that's the car that we had just spoken to. He's gone around. We do stay green flag conditions, so we do not have a yellow yet. Thomas Hazard is your race leader. Richard Towler is working from the 11th spot as now the caution flag flies.
Looks like car number 30 of Steve Sheehan is in the fence.
Sheehan was up on the high side. Tyler Hudson was working that high side as well. Hudson just barely a little tap to Steve Sheehan. Looks like Sheehan was more than a little tap, actually. I kind of drilled him there, but Sheehan looks like he had to get off the gas or just tap the brakes or something, and Tyler Hudson nowhere to go. Hard contact between him and Sheehan, and around went Sheehan.
Yeah, that was a pretty heavy hit there. I'm not sure exactly what was going on there, but some pretty heavy hit and a lot of damage to the front of Tyler's car. Tyler was having a good run up early in the race tonight, but he has fallen back pretty far. Derek Wood still back in the 22nd position. He was also having a good run earlier tonight.
Two drivers at the back of the pack going ahead and making a few pit stops, and why not? Get some fresh tires if you're deep in the field. It kind of makes sense outside the top 15. Make a pit stop and not give up too much too much track position. It makes a lot of sense to me, Nim. Get those fresh tires. We've seen already how important fresh tires can be.
Oh, absolutely. If you're back there now, you got to take those fresh tires, and it might come a point where everybody in front of you pits, and then at that time, if you're already in the back, you've got nothing to lose. Go back up front. Maybe you get a lot of cautions. Maybe you're able to work out something and get that miracle finish. But right now, still got about almost 50 laps to go. So yeah, we see Sheehan right now. He's making another pit stop and trying to get some repair work done on that car, as we are some of the other cars too. Yeah, Jordan Erickson speeding down pit road trying to get some damage repaired on his car. He'll take that speeding penalty and work to the back of the pack, as these guys don't have much time to work on these cars with these pace laps. If you're at the end of the field and coming back in, you don't want to lose a lap, so they'll take that speeding penalty and stay at the back of the pack. But as you see these guys working hard, trying to stay in front of that pace car.
So the lights are out. We're getting set to go back to green flag. No, the lights are not out. We're not getting set to go back to green flag conditions. Looked like the lights were out from my vantage point, but they are not out. We'll go at least one more time around Bristol Motor Speedway under pace lap conditions. As correction, they are out. They are out. So helps if I get my monitor up to real time. The lights are out. I was right the first time. I just didn't know I was right, I guess, Nim.
Well, that's okay. We understand. And the lights are out. Lap number 200 will go back to the green floor at the end of 200. 50 laps to go. once we get the green flag here. Josh Parker, a big wheel spin last time. That only cost him one position. He's now back in the 8th spot. We'll see if he have a better restart this time. Up front, we have Thomas Hazard. He'll be leading them to the green flag. Ray Alfala, your points leader, having a great run here at Bristol in the 2nd spot.
Alfala snookered on the restart. You don't see that often. Here comes Josh Berry to the inside. Berry down low, Ray Alfala up high. Berry will have the position out of turn number 2.
Yeah, it looks like Jeremy Allen's going to try to sneak down there underneath, and Alfala saw that coming, so he did stay high. He tried to work it in there, but thought better. Trouble in 3.
Big wreck in turn number 3. The 41 upside down in turn 3. That's the 41 of Dano Weimer. Found himself upside down in turn number 3. Black smoke spewing from the number 41. Looks like his day will be done. Weimer got involved after getting into the number 18. Around he went and then was absolutely drilled by the number 37 of Jean Costa.
Yeah, it looked like an unusual mistake there by Brad Davies. Davies got loose underneath, as like we saw Connor McKenzie do earlier in the night, and Brad Davies got up into the wall, and that caused the problems behind him. Brad Davies having one of those nights that he'd like to forget, and that's pretty rare for Brad Davies. He's always up front, and again, our runner-up from last season, taking home some cash. He's having some troubles here tonight.
And Wood got down into the number 43 and moved him out of the way. Just trying to get by him. Derek Wood and Brian Blackford may be working on an issue here. Blackford turned him around under yellow flag conditions. That's not going to sit well with the officials.
And it looks like Brian Blackford is going to be receiving a black flag from the officials, but deemed some retaliatory actions taken there, and that's not allowed. So it looks like the officials are assessing a black flag to Brian Blackford.
So the emotions starting to flow here at Bristol Motor Speedway as Wood moved Blackford out of the way to get by him, and then Blackford turned Wood around under yellow flag conditions. You just can't do that.
Lights are out on the safety car, lap number 206. Darryl, these last 50 are going to be the longest lap.
Information, Brad Davies was just disqualified from the event. Brad Davies disqualified from the event. I'm not quite sure why. And now the black flags have been cleared. Never mind. The correction has been made. It's going to be Brian Blackford disqualified for the race. Green flag flies. We are underway.
Thomas Hazard leads them through 1 and 2 with Josh Berry right on his tail. Ray Alfala stuck up on the outside. Jeremy Allen working underneath him, and Richie Davidovich trying to get underneath him, but he can't make it happen as Ray Alfala will fall in line in that 4th spot.
So Richie still sitting in the 5th spot. Right behind him is Brad Wright. You see those two cars out the rear spoiler of Ray Alfala's number 9 as the yellow flag flies on the speedway.
Looks like Matt Santel is around on the back straightaway.
Looks like he may have caught the apron. The car gets away from Matt Centel, and that'll slow this field down. That's exactly what happened to him. He caught the apron, and around it went. You can't get down on the apron with these cars.
Don't forget, everybody, that iRacing here, we are a global community, and we do have some members that are suffering through the Japan disasters right now. 200 members here at iRacing are from Japan, and of the 25,000 members we have, 87 countries are represented here at iRacing. So we are a true global community, and when a disaster like this happens, like happened in Japan, we all care for our fellow members here at iRacing, and for that we are going to have a members race a benefit race for the disaster relief fund in Japan. And what's going to happen is that we're going to run a dozen races over a 24-hour period, and all iRacing.com members are eligible to participate, and each one is asked to donate at least $5 to the American Red Cross's Japan Earthquake and Tsunami Fund at http://www.redcross.org. So, our hearts go out to everybody in Japan right now, and we're thinking about everybody over there, and want to also let all of our Japan members know that we're thinking about them in this time of crisis.
So Thomas Hazard still your race leader. Josh Berry sits in second. Jeremy Allen is third. Fourth is Ray Alfala. Fifth is Richie Davidowitz. Sixth is Brad Wright. Seventh is Jason Burstein. Eighth is Josh Parker. Ninth is Chris Main. And 10th is Joshua Lawton. Interesting point here. Ray Alfala, your points leader, currently sits in the fourth position. Josh Parker, second in points, right now is eighth.
Yeah, Parker struggling a little bit on those restarts, as we saw before, as we mentioned before also. So we're going to have to make sure that he does okay. But, Ray Alfala is looking really strong here at the beginning of this season. And even Ray, early at the race when he won Daytona, was a little bit surprised at his finish. But, he's right there. He's up in front of all these races. I think we got a real contender here this season, Darrell.
I think Ray Alfala's always been a contender. Just a lot of people didn't give him the credit that he deserved. We're back under green flag conditions, and, to a certain extent. Oh, Parker! Josh Parker, what a save, the number 27. This thing might not be over, but Josh Parker, little bit of side contact, and he saved that number 27.
Yeah, he is. For some reason, on the start of these races on cold tires, he's no good, and that car is wicked. And he was able to gather it back up right there, but he's lost a number of positions again as we find Parker. Let's see where he crosses the line this time by 16th position. We lost 8 spots on that restart.
That was rough for Josh Parker. We're riding in car with Ray Alfala now as he gets a good look at the back bumper of Brad Wright, a driver that newer to the series, but he has been a force here at Bristol.
Yeah, Brad Wright having a really good race up in the top 5 right now. Parker back there losing a couple more positions as the 26 car of Jason Anderson gets around him, and Tyler Hudson working his way around him. Nolan Scott also working his way around him.
Brad Wright trying to find his way by Richie Davidowitz as Davidowitz is up into the 4th spot. So Davidowitz looking quite good here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and Richie D finally starting to show the muscle that a lot of people thought he had early in the season.
Yeah, you know that Richie will have the good races when we get to tracks like Bristol, where you got to be a wheelman to be up front, and those are the races that you're going to find these guys up front. And it looks like this team, the Aboto team, they've all worked real well together, because Josh Berry, Jeremy R. Allen, Richie Davidowitz, Brad Wright, these four guys are all part of the same team. So all these guys having a real good run here at Bristol. Must have worked real hard over the last couple of weeks to get here.
Yeah, the main Performance PC sponsored drivers seem to be doing quite well here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and I know that the followers of that team are hoping that that team continues to perform well, because there could be some rewards for viewers out there if that team continues to do well.
Yeah, I believe if one of their drivers wins a race, there's some type of contest going on where if you picked one of the main Performance PC drivers that wins a race, I don't forget what you win, Daryl, but there's definitely a prize out there.
Closing in once again on lap traffic is Thomas Hazard, your race leader. The number 34 moves to the high side, lets them all go. Nice classy move from the number 34, Greg Spears.
Yeah, Spears, that car banged up and showing the wear for it, but he's still in this race, still making laps. Right now, Josh Berry looking over the rear bumper of Thomas Hazard up front. Jeremy Allen closing in. The whole line of cars all right there together. Top 5 cars within a second of each other. Right now, Thomas Hazard only a tenth of a second lead over Josh Berry.
You look out the rear spoiler of your race leader, Thomas Hazard, back at Josh Berry. Single file the majority of the way through this field, as this thing is about to heat up. 25 laps to go. Now, give and take is gone. Now it's time to take.
Yeah, he definitely. Oh, double turn one is. It looks like Alfala put right up into the wall, going down in turn number 1. Still green as Brad Wright was able to save the car going down the corner number 1 there. It looks like Ray Alfala looked like he wanted the inside, but it wasn't quite there. He got up at the right just a little bit. Wright did a great job of saving that car.
Did a fantastic job saving that car. He'll lose several positions, however. Puts him deeper in this field. That's not what he wanted. Yeah,
well, you know, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and Wright was able to move people out of the way early in the race, and this time he got moved. So, you know, that happens, and it is Bristol, so.
The 33, the 22, and the 12. Nice battle deeper in this field. Fogel trying to get a run on the number 22 of Lawton. Lawton trying to hold off a very hard-charging Patrick Fogel.
Yeah, and right now it looked like Fogel got around Richard Towler, so Towler dropping a spot, and Fogel working his way back way up through the field.
Towler coming under assault from the number 10 of Derek Wood, so Richard Towler could find himself being assaulted. Steve Sheehan, the lap car on the high side, gives these drivers plenty of room on the inside run.
Derek Wood working his way back up through the late portions of this race as the 33 car gets under the 22. That's Patrick Fogel underneath Joshua Lofton. 33 car got really sideways coming off corner number 2 right there and had to gather it back up. And that got Towler up out of the groove and lets Wood get by.
So Lawton retakes the spot in the number 22, the 33 of Fogel battling here, as Fogel once again will try to build that run. Patrick Fogel trying for a nice, strong, solid finish. He's in the top 10 with like more.
Yeah, these guys are really tight right now, racing really hard. A lot of aggression going on out there right now, but they're still doing a good job. You know, these little taps and little bumps are part of Bristol racing. These guys doing a really good job under these conditions this late in the race to keep them all straight.
Back up at the front, leaders still nose to tail. Thomas Hazard leads Josh Berry as they close in on the 34 car again. That same lapped car, the 34, well under speed, but he gives up the inside line, lets these leaders race by. No complaints with that. You're going to give up the inside line, stay out there, not a problem.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of staying out of the way. It gets pretty tight sometimes, but all these guys, they want to do the best they can. Lap number 237 working on right now, so 14 laps to go. this time by. And Thomas Hazard's about 0.2 of a second lead over Josh Berry. It's going to be hard for Berry to gain position. He's going to make it to his rear bumper, but these two guys are stretching out a little bit over the third place car of Jeremy R. Allen.
Hazard, your leader. Berry sits in second, almost a 1 second gap between themselves and Jeremy Allen. Richie Davidowitz sits in fourth. Fifth is Ray Alfala.
Alfala, your point leader, having another good run up there today. So if he can stay in that fifth spot, I'm sure he'd probably be pretty happy with that. But Thomas Hazard right now looks like Josh Berry closing in on him. And lap 239, 11 laps to go this time by. So we'll see if Berry can do anything here in the last 10 laps of the race. Looks like Derek Wood got in the back of Patrick Fogel there and put Patrick up in the fence.
Oh, Fogel's not done. Patrick Fogel went around and collected a bunch of this field. Yellow flag flies. We're going to have less than 10 to go.
Yeah, it looks like going down to the corner. It looks like Wood dive bombed in the corner and got Fogel up into the fence, and then Fogel lost it going down the back straightaway. Brian Schoenberg had nowhere to go, and the 33 car hard up into the fence.
It doesn't get much more obvious than that, even at Bristol. That 10 just pounded the back bumper of the number 33 of Fogel, just flat out moved him out of the way.
Everybody's staying out here, nobody making any pit stops. So they got the tires they want for the last, right now we got 8 laps to go, so probably a 5 lap to go shootout from here. And they're all, this last 5 laps probably won't be all green, so no reason to get green tires or fresh tires here now because they're not going to be able to use them all.
I think if you're Josh Parker, yeah, sure, come on down, get some fresh tires, use up whatever you can. Right now, sitting in the 20th position, nothing to lose.
Yeah, those guys in the back, they can do it. But the guys up front, no tires. You know what? Just noticed Joshua Lofton. Remember earlier in the race, he was battling up front, had old tires on, fell way back and he's able to work his way back up in the top 10 right now, 9th position. So a good run for Joshua Lawton.
Fans, don't forget to follow us on Twitter as well, much like Parker Kligerman is. Parker just tweeted that he's watching the broadcast here on PSRTV.com. We appreciate the plug, Parker, and hopefully we'll be seeing you winning some more races very soon as an iRacing member. And, of course, in that truck ride, old PK knows what he's doing behind the wheel of a race car, that's for sure.
All right.
Lights are out, getting set to go back to green flag racing conditions. Hazard and Berry side by side with a restart, and you can't afford to wait. Hazard hard on the throttle. Berry gets snookered. Hazard, huge restart.
Yeah, Hazard there at the end of the race, he's going to go as soon as he can, and that actually helps Berry out a little bit because Berry's able to fall back in line in second position. Jeremy R. Allen trying to take that third position from the 14 car of Richie Davidowitz, and he'll have it. Also bring Alfala through.
Yeah, DeVito with way up high on the racetrack. He'll try to keep it down a little bit lower as it looks like the yellow flag has flown.
Looks like the car 12 of Tyler gets turned around coming out of 4. And he gets turned by Derek Wood again, so Wood in the back of another car turning around Tyler. Also the 4 car involved, Charles Cosper, taking a ride down to the inside wall.
Yeah, looking back at what happened with Wood and Towler, it looked like that was an accordion effect. Wood got into Towler, but I can't really blame that one on Derek Wood. The previous one, oh yeah, I would put that one on Derek Wood, but this one, no, I can't put that one on Derek.
Most likely we're going to finish this race under yellow flag, and that will be Thomas Hazard's first win of the year. Josh Berry second, Jeremy R. Allen third, Ray Alfala fourth, and Richie Davidowitz fifth. So the main performance PPC guys having a good run. And Ray Alfala, your points leader, up there in the 4th position. A fantastic run here at Bristol for Ray Alfala.
Hazard comes in 10 points behind. He's going to gain several points, but I don't think he's going to gain enough to surpass Ray Alfala. I think Ray Alfala still leaves here as the points leader.
Yeah, he definitely does by a couple points, I believe. Where's Parker at right now? Parker in the 16th position, so he's going to lose a number of points, probably about 13 or 14 points to Alfala in this race.
So, final lap around the racetrack. Thomas Hazard is your race leader, and he will likely win this thing. All he's going to do is keep it running for one more circuit around the famed Bristol Motor Speedway. They head down the backstretch. Josh Berry will come up and congratulate him, as I know those two would like to have been able to battle it out for the win. But look at it. Obutto, Main Performance PC, Obutto, and JDR Graphics top 4, with Main Performance PC sitting in 5th as well. What a team these drivers have put together.
Yep, when you have a good group of drivers working together, it helps with that setup of that car, because these cars are very involved in setting them up. And right now, with all of their hard work, Thomas Hazard brings it home against them. So great job by Thomas Hazard here tonight.
Looks like Hazard he's going to have to come out and do some donuts here. Thomas Hazard working across traffic. The field will completely finish this race, and Thomas Hazard is your race winner here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Congratulations to Thomas Hazard, as he will advance himself in the points and do it significantly with a very strong performance and a very strong win here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Hazard will take the opportunity, light up the tires here on the front stretch, burn them down on the 40 feet of concrete here at Bristol, and not quite sure why Josh Berry's doing donuts. Woohoo! Second, yay!
I think they're all teammates out there, probably worked pretty hard together, but yeah.
We're going to go ahead, take a quick break. We'll come back post-race coming up next right here on PSR TV.
iRacing.com is the premier online racing simulation featuring head-to-head competition on your PC. Race from your home PC, competing on the world's best real-world cars and tracks. Thousands of race fans and scores of pro racers like Dale Jr. and Justin Wilson are already racing at iRacing. Experience the thrill of victory yourself and go racing today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here on PSR TV. You just saw it all go down here at Bristol Motor Speedway, the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship. Thomas Hazard takes home the win, followed by Josh Berry. Third place went to Jeremy Allen. Fourth to Ray Alfala. Fifth to Richie Davidowitz. Sixth went to Chris Main, followed by Jason Burstein, Joshua Lawton, Brad Wright, and Brian Schoenberg, your top 10. The rest of the finishing order will be available at both iRacing.com and NASCAR.com when they are made official. We're going to see if we can't hook up some communication between ourselves and our race leader, Thomas Hazard. Tom, this is Darryl in the booth. You got me, buddy?
Yep.
Thomas, it's been a while, buddy. It's nice to have you here as a race winner on PSR TV. Congratulations. You are now a NASCAR race winner.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. It's been a long time coming. I don't think I've had one of these interviews here in about 2 years, so it's definitely about time.
Everybody kept telling us, I'll tell you what, Thomas Hazard hasn't really shown everything he's got. Is 2011 the year that Thomas Hazard shows everything he's got?
I'm not quite sure about that, but I definitely think we can be a strong contender. I think I have a pretty good shot at getting top 5, but I'm not sure if I'm quite up to par with some of those other guys like Ray and Derek and Brad to challenge them for the championship this year.
You've led the third most amount of laps coming in here this year, and that's likely to go up quite a bit. Obviously, with this race win and all the laps that you led here tonight, you got to be considered as one of those contenders. I know you're trying to hang underneath the radar here, bud, but a lot of these drivers are going to start taking notice of you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would certainly hope I'd be considered a contender, but you know, I still feel like I got a little bit of work to do. But you know, after this win, I feel like you know, anything's possible now. I got this one win out of the way. I've been so close. You know, last year I finished second 3 times, and I couldn't believe it. You know, I'm just glad to finally get in victory lane. I don't think it's sunk in quite yet.
Well, has it sunk in that you might be the person responsible for someone getting a free Ovato cockpit?
Yes, it has, actually. I have the name right here.
All right, give us the name. Who's getting a free Ovato cockpit, buddy?
That would be going to Sean Kimball.
Darryl Morley, get the... Oh, that was Sean Kimball. All right, well, congratulations, Sean Kimball.
Yeah.
You can't blame me for trying, right, Thomas?
Yeah.
Thomas, before we let you go, let's hear about sponsors, friends, teammates. Who helps make it happen for you, bud?
Well, obviously, Main Performance Racing has been great. We got Main Performance PC on board, along with Ovato Cockpit, and I'd like to thank Michael Main, obviously, for sponsoring us. We've been together now for a couple years, and I think that's been pretty good. I also like to thank a couple of my teammates, Josh Berry and Daniel Pope. They've been helping me a lot, you know, with the setups and stuff like that over the last couple years. But also all the guys, you know, there's a bunch of guys back at on our team speak. I like to thank them all for all their support as well.
There you go. That's Thomas Hazard. He takes home the win and wins an Ovato cockpit for, what was it, Sean Kimball?
Yes, it was. Sean Kimball.
Congratulations to Sean Kimball, and congratulations once again to Thomas Hazard. We'll pitch it down to Nim Cross, who was caught up with second place, Josh Berry. Nim?
Josh Berry, a great run for the Main Performance cars here tonight. You bring it home in second. Tell us about your race.
Man, I don't even know what to say about that. I've never been so happy to finish second, man. Me and Thomas Hazard have been working together for a long time and have been really close friends, and and I'm so glad to finally see him get a win. And everybody on the main performance PC team did an awesome job tonight. I'm so happy to see us run like this. You know, we been putting a lot of effort into running good like this, man, and it's awesome to see us come out here like this. I really can honestly say I feel like we had the best cars there tonight, man, and that's all you want.
Well, there's no doubt about it. You guys definitely had the best cars, and you didn't give each other any slack either. You raced each other hard. You can tell you guys all wanted to race for the win, but Thomas earned it. You got second tonight, and obviously a great run for main performance cars, and you guys definitely put the work in all week to get here.
Oh yeah, we put in a lot of work this week. I really felt like I had a good car tonight, and we really did. So, man, it's awesome to run like we did and be up front the whole race. I wish I would have qualified better. I felt like I could have qualified better, but I mean, I just cut through the field and just kept it there, man. And we were racing each other hard for sure, but at the same time, you know, we were being smart and keeping ourselves up front in the position that we were in, and that's really what means a lot to me, at least, and I know it means a lot to Hazard, and it's awesome to be able to keep up front like that and just kind of control the race like we did. But I just want to thank Michael Main and Main Performance PC. You know, he come on board last year with me and Hazard doing this deal, and he always believed in us and stepped it up this year to sponsor 8 cars. And, man, I'm really glad to see his name put up like that because he's done a lot. And, of course, the Bodo cockpits. Congratulations to Sean Kimball on winning that. But everybody did a good job, and I just want to thank all my teammates for sure.
Well, you definitely did a good job. You came from the 12th spot. We had 43 cars here at Bristol tonight. What's it like running Bristol with 43 cars?
It's nuts, just like I kind of expected it would be. It's a little bit different than the real NASCAR series because there's not multiple grooves. So when we ran into lap traffic, we really struggled being able to pass them just because your tires are old. You know, it's hard to get the forward bite off the corner to get by. And I think we could have, if we could have made it a little bit easier through the lap traffic, I think we could have come through there a little faster. But, you know, like I said, we all drove smart and not ran over each other. And it was definitely crazy out there. As crazy as it looked.
Well, Josh, congratulations on your second place finish. Congratulations also on helping your teammate, make his first win tonight. And we'll send it back upstairs with Daryl and Jeremy R. Allen.
Thank you very much, Nim. We'll see if we can hook up with Jeremy Allen, finisher of the third position, number 21. Jeremy, this is Daryl. You got me, bud?
Yeah, 10-4, Daryl.
Jeremy, you gave it everything you had out there, bud, but Hazard and Barry were just too tough to compete with, weren't they?
Yeah, we had started out a little tighter than those guys, expecting a long green flag run there at the end, and they were just a little bit looser and they could turn in the dirty air than I could, and I was just piling up the track and just couldn't get any position on them.
That little bit of a push here at Bristol, not that big of a deal at some other tracks, but Bristol, everything is magnified, isn't it?
Yeah, because you got to get that run off the corner to make any kind of pass, and if you can't get off the corner, you're going to be slow here.
Very, very difficult to get off the corner. Tell us about some of the traffic. We saw a lot of drivers having to work very, very hard through lap traffic tonight.
Yeah, lap traffic was nuts out there. I think at one point we were 3 wide or 4 wide up there, and I think they were even sideways there at one point. Everyone had to slow down. It was just hard to get through traffic because of the aero push. Iverson over-exaggerates the aero, and you could tell tonight.
You've had a rough year coming in. This is definitely going to pick up your spirits. You've got 2 drops, and Bristol obviously won't be one of them, bud.
Yeah, I feel good giving Alberto a good run. We had 2 good setups for Daytona and Las Vegas, and I wrecked myself at Vegas off my teammate's nose, and at Daytona, and it's just Daytona. It's super speedway racing, got in the big one, and it just feels really good. My confidence is up after this race for sure.
Not often that you can say that Bristol restored your confidence, but Bristol does exactly that, at least for Jeremy Allen. Before we let you go, bud, let's hear about friends, teammates, sponsors. Who makes it happen?
I just want to thank Main Performance PC and Obuto and some of those guys over there helped me out the set this week. We tested a lot this week and felt like we had something good. Just want to thank those guys and you guys, PSR TV, you guys, and iRacing.
We're going to thank you very much, and we'll pitch it back down to Nim Cross. That was Jeremy Allen finishing in 3rd spot. We'll pitch it to Nim Cross, who has caught up with Ray Alfala. Nim?
Ray, fantastic race tonight. You are the man showing the stuff early on in the season. Daytona, Vegas, and now here at Bristol. You are obviously going to retain the points lead after this race, having a fantastic start to the season, and to come out of Bristol with a fourth-place finish, you got to be happy.
Yeah, definitely happy. I'm always happy when I finish around where I ran, which is why I was a bit disappointed after last week where I ran like 4th all race and then I finished 7th. Normally 7th is, it's not a bad spot to finish in, but you're always a little bit disappointed when you don't finish where you run. So tonight, really, it was, not much happened, at least in the top 10 or so, and it seemed like it was impossible to pass under green. Pretty much for the first 2 or 3 laps on the restart, if you were on the inside, that's where you want it to be, because on the outside, everything was the car just wouldn't turn at all, so it was just trying to get to the bottom. And, everything just went as smooth as a Bristol race can go for me.
Well, Ray, you've obviously been doing real well here on iRacing and even in your road racing. Tell us about your experiences here lately with the road racing part of it.
Yeah, I was able to get a top 5 in the Phillip Island race, which is pretty surprising. Obviously, a few key people didn't, attempt the race, but I'm pretty proud of that. Never thought I'd be getting a top 5 on the roadside, and last 2 weeks ago, went to Germany and had a great time over there. So overall, just having a good year, both oval and road.
So one of the well-rounded racer, obviously, and doing a great job. Who's got you here, and who are your sponsors?
Well, I got to thank JDR Graphics. JD Later paints all my cars, and he does a great job. Also, gotta apologize to Brad Wright there at the end for getting into his left rear. I thought I was a little bit further up his side than I really was. So. Gotta say sorry about that, and just thanks to PSR TV obviously for the broadcast and iRacing, and I'll see you guys in Martinsville.
All right, Ray, good job tonight, and congratulations on your points lead going into Martinsville in 2 weeks. Back up to you, Daryl.
Thank you, Nim, as we're going to head down to 5th place finisher. First time we'll get to talk to him here on PSR TV. Richie Davidowitz. Richie, heck of a run, man. You came all the way from 19th, bud.
Thank you, Daryl.
Richie, you had to work real hard out there. Tell us about the lap traffic. It seemed like a couple of drivers were kind of holding their line, which is their right to do, but it was making it really difficult for the leaders to get by.
Yeah, I imagine so. It was more difficult for the guys more further up front, such as the leaders, first through third. But when I caught them, they got out of they gave me a lot of room relatively quick, and it was not that big of an issue for me.
How important is it to keep your car relatively clean here at Bristol? People think about Bristol and they think about bent-up sheet metal, but that's not always the way it works here in the sim racing world, is it?
No, you could get away with some damage, but I got a little early on in the race, not a lot, but it didn't hurt my car any, and I was able to continue on and keep going forward.
We talked to Jeremy Allen about having his confidence restored here at Bristol. Would you be sort of in the same boat, your first finish here within the top 35?
Yeah, definitely. The first 2 races got off to a very shaky start for me. Not anywhere near close to the results that I saw would happen. So getting this top 5 is a good momentum beginning for me.
You have 2 drops, obviously, as it sits right now. Daytona and Las Vegas will be a drop. How are you set for Martinsville in 2 weeks, buddy?
I think it'll be just as the way it was at Bristol. I'm more comfortable at short tracks. I feel that's where I belong. I'm not a great mile-and-a-halfer, as the stats show. A lot better at short tracks. Just love the bull rings.
What do you attribute your short track success to? Is it your experience in dirt racing? Is it your experience in previous sims? Why is it that Richie Davidowitz is so good on a short track?
Probably more so from previous sims. That's all I usually ever raced, and that's usually all the racing I ever see. At Riverhead Raceway, my local short track's a little under a quarter mile in size, and it's got 16 degrees of banking, and it's just good old short track bull ring racing.
Richie, before we let you go, let's hear about friends, teammates, sponsors. Who helped you get here, buddy?
First, I got to thank my dad. He puts up with a lot of my garbage. Next, Michael Main from Main Performance PC and everyone from Main Performance Racing. If it wasn't for all them, I certainly wouldn't have ran as good as I did tonight. And Josh, Hazard, Daniel, Pope, they all give me a lot of help. Brad Wright, Jordan Erickson. Congrats to Hazard on the win. It was well deserved for him. And he made the lucky winner, Sean. Happy for winning the Ubuntu cockpit.
There you go. That's Richie Davidowitz and Nim. Overall, a very fast race here tonight. We had 16 cautions. Not a lot, considering we ran 250 laps. A lot of people are saying we'd have 20 to 30 cautions. Nowhere near that. 16 yellow flags for 80 laps and 13 lead changes.
Yeah, and I definitely even saw some green flag pit stops out there tonight. 43 cars here at Bristol, and actually it was a pretty good race. A lot of fun.
I enjoyed the heck out of it, and I hope our fans did as well. Hey, give a call to Main Performance PC. Check out their great deals, as they have done some wonderful things to support the sim racing community, and we certainly do appreciate all the stuff that Main Performance PC is doing to help out this sim racing community. That's mainperformancepc.com. Give them a check if you're in the market for a new PC. If old reliable's not quite so reliable, it might be time to give Main Performance PC a ring up on the World Wide Web. That's going to wrap it up here from Bristol Motor Speedway. We will see you in 2 weeks, March 30th from Martinsville, back-to-back short tracks here on PSR TV. I will see you 1 week from tonight on Hot Lap Radio. That hits the air at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. That should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to Hot Lap this week, and make sure you check out the older archives. We'll get that podcast link up for you very, very soon, so you can sign up right within iTunes, and you can download all the archives, and you can put them on your iPod, put them on your cell phone, put them wherever you want. On behalf of Nim Cross, PJ Lossy, sorry PJ, I almost did it again to you, buddy, Ian Bushing, Chuck Johnson, Matt Racing Kid Thomas, Ilka Hapla, Zach Stanko, and everybody here at PSR TV. I'm Gerald Morley, thanking you so much for tuning in and reminding you, keep it shiny side up and rubber side down, and always, always, always keep that hammer down. We'll see you in 2 weeks right here on PSR TV.